Hello, we are working on lesson 5 of the 2015 Adobe Illustrator CC classroom in a book. We're working on a few different things in this new artboards, with rulers, guides, distortion, free transform, rotate, and then also you have an extra step in the class where you have to, let me open up Adobe Acrobat. We're going to rename some text, so I know that you're following on with the instructions, and we're going to learn a little bit about type. There will also be an additional type video. So this is what I have my L5 end file right here. It's what we're looking for, except we want to rename All City to Phoenix or PHX, and then to Community College is names right there. And we'll work at that at the very last video. And then we'll also learn how to export a PDF. We'll do a lot of fun stuff with this one. So I opened up my L5 start file. So it looks like we have one artboard. Get a bunch of different graphics at the bottom. And we need to rename our file. First, we're going to reset our essentials. Get everything nice and normal. Go to File Save As, and we're saving it as ticket.ai. But of course we want to rename first name, last name. Cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to add some artboards. So once this is saved, we are going to zoom in, and we're going to press the artboard tool in our tools panel. Here is our tools panel. Our artboard tool is right there. And I kind of shift things down. My cursor changes to a box half crosshair thing. And you can click and drag to create a new artboard, and our measurement guide will be on the right. And we want one that's 3.5 width and 6 height inches, of course. Yeah, it was about 3.5. If it's not exact, that's okay. We're going to readjust them later. Alright, close. Now if we pull up our artboard panel, which is these two right here, we have artboard 1 and artboard 2. And this is artboard 2 that we created. It has a highlight that says artboard 2, and down here is the numeral that says run artboard 2. If we go over artboard 1, 2, and we're kind of familiar with artboards. We've been using them for quite a bit. Now we're going to press this new page here. This will make us a new artboard right there. We can click and do that. Do Command Z. Or in our artboard panel too, we can another that new page icon, and we'll just place it right there. Same size, we'll just move it to the right. We're going to zoom out a little, and we're going to make artboard 4, which should be artboard 3. And we're going to move it over here. So we're going to click on here, and we're going to hold down Shift as we drag. Actually, no. Click on this artboard, and we hold down Shift. We'll constrain it to the same size. And we just moved it over. Now we're going to work on resizing our artboards. So you can click and drag down. We want this to be 8 inches. Or we can go to artboard 2, and up here in our control panel, we can type in 8. So we've added some artboards. I can move it over a little bit too, to give myself some space. And what I'm going to do is we're going to rename our artboards so we know where they are. So artboard 1, which is the kind of where it says All City, in the center, we're going to double click on artboard 1 in this panel and rename it to Inside. And we've renamed it, and this will help us kind of know where everything is. And then in we're going to go to Artboard 2. And we're going to double click on this actually tool right here, not the text, but this artboard symbol. This opens up a dialog box. You can adjust size and whatnot, where it's located. We're going to name this back. And then we'll take Artboard 3, name it to front. And what we can do is kind of rearrange our artboards. And we want to put front to the top of the stack. And you're just going to click and drag up. So it goes front, inside, back. And that's just some of the cool adjustments we can do. Also, if you could add it here, if we go to Document Setup, we can add the bleeds, which we have before. But you can go to Edit Artboards, and it's a kind of a quick, another way to get to the artboard panel without clicking it on your tools. And we're going to set up some guides. Now my rulers are already shown. If yours aren't, just go to View, Rulers, or Command R. I usually keep mine on whenever I work. And what we're going to do is we're going to double click on Artboard 1 to make sure we are working on Artboard 1. And we're going to create a new guide. You're going to click and drag, but we can't do anything yet for clicking and dragging because we are on a locked layer. So on this next tab here, Layers, we want to make sure we are on something that's visible and not locked. Let's go back to Artboards, Artboard 1. Click and drag, and as you can see, we have a teal line. And that is our artboard guide. And using smart guides, things will snap to it, which is really helpful. As you can see, it's about 1 inch there. So we can work with it. What we can also do is we're going to change this to 1/4 of an inch. So with it selected, excuse me, we're going to hit Transform, and under the x-axis, right, 0.25. I'm actually going to pull up my transform panel right there because I use it a lot. And I'm just going to click and drag this into my panels on the right because I use it so often. It's just really helpful for me to have it there. And now it is at 1/4 of an inch, which is pretty helpful. And the next thing we'll do is we're going to readjust our rulers. So we have our rulers where they start from 0 to 0 at the top left-hand corner. And if I were to go to 2, that's where they start there. And these are using artboard rulers. So the artboards zero out at each artboard we work on. If you want to change them to global rulers, which zero out at the first artboard, you can go to rulers, global rulers. So if we go to 2, let's go to 3, it zeroes out. 0 is actually here, and 0 does not. Here it's at 8, and here it'd be like at negative whatever. But we're going to go back to artboard rulers. And the book explains them pretty well in depth. But we want our 0, 0 to be in the lower left-hand corner because we want to be able to kind of do a quick measurement there. So in the top left-hand corner where the rulers meet, we're going to click and drag. And that's kind of where we're saying where our rulers are going to start. Where 0, 0 is going to be here. So click and drag into this corner right here where 0 is at the bottom. And we want this to be 1/4 of an inch from the bottom. Gonna zoom in a little. And I might pull up free transform. Now it didn't readjust my. There we go. So that's 0. And we want to go reset our rulers. So you just need to change the global rulers back to artboard, where 0, 0 is there. And what we're going to do next is kind of see how guides kind of move around. So we're going to lock our guides. So we're going to go guides, lock guides. So now we don't accidentally just move them around. And we'll just show you how artwork connects them. So we're going to grab all city from this artboard. And we're going to actually hide edges so it's easier for us to see our artwork. As you can see, when we move it, it wants to snap. It should snap. Actually, we're going to show guide. Show edges. And you can use your cursor to nudge it. And so that was playing around with smart guides, rulers, guides, and new artboards. So our next video is learning about positioning objects precisely, scaling objects, and then reflecting objects. So watch our next video.